it's TBR game time and I am so excited. This is by far my favorite video to film each month. It is my least favorite video to edit each month, but I love filming it. So let's jump into February. Let's start with all of the books that I was supposed to read in January. Alright, so this is not all of them. I do not actually have all of them. We had quite a few books this month. We had Love Theoretically was, I think, a free pick. I wrote these down. Yes, Love Theoretically was a free pick. Trust of the Emerald Sea was a hardcover. No One Can Know was also a free pick. Yes. I'm not even telling you if I finished these. Yes, I finished all 3 of those. House of Sky and Breath was also a free pick. Yes, it was. And I am halfway through it, and the month is not technically over yet, so it's fine. I'm reading it slowly on purpose because I don't want too many days in between this one and when the 3rd one comes out. House of Earth and Blood. That one was a book with a person on the cover. I did read that. The Unmaking of June Farrow was, I think that one was also a free pick. Yeah, we had a lot of free picks in January. I did read that. Spinning Silver was a book box. Did read that. Ledge and Chasm were both books from a series. I soft DNF'd Ledge and did not touch Chasm, obviously. Then we had It Ends With Us for an intimidating pick, and I did not finish it. I started it, DNF'd it, and unhauled it. We had Ordinary Monsters for a book over 600 pages. I read half of it, DNF'd it, and unhauled it. And then we also had Dowry of Blood. I hard DNF'd it and unhauled it. And then the last book we had was Mislaid in Parts Half Known. I got this on Audible, so I don't have a physical copy of it, but I did read that. That being said, we had a good reading month. I read a lot, but we also had a lot of DNFs, like a lot. Like probably the most I've ever had in a month. 3 of them were hard DNFs and like hard enough that I actually unhauled the books. And then Ledge I talked about in a few vlogs, so if you are curious about like what happened there, long story short, I just need to go back to it. January was not the month for it. We'll try again later in the year, but January was not the month for it. So I am going to take a punishment for Ledge and Chasm. I'm going to take 1 punishment for like the 2 of them because I couldn't read Chasm since I didn't finish Ledge. But since I didn't officially DNF it, like for purposes of this game, I consider hard DNFs. I don't need a punishment. I tried it, decided I didn't like it. I'm not going to force myself to finish a book that I don't like, so I do not take punishments. If I hard DNF it, unhaul it, have no intentions of going back to it. If it's a soft DNF that I didn't finish for other reasons, but I am intending to finish it eventually, I am going to take a punishment for that. But I'm only going to do 1 since I physically could not read the 2nd book in the series if I didn't read the 1st book. 1 punishment for January, not that bad, honestly. I'm not mad about that. It's gonna be fine. So let's jump into the board setup. Before we do that, I do have 1 rule change, procedure change, because we've never played this game the same way twice, ever. I'm gonna use 2 d6 dice for how many of each spot I get, and then I'm just gonna place them randomly. I'm kind of tired of like the random number generator and like rolling to spot. Like I'm just gonna place them randomly and it's gonna be fine. All right, let's jump into setting up the board. Let's start with TBR treats. Why not? Ooh, we get 9 of those. I don't think we've ever had that many.
I've climbed the mountains in Montana, danced in the lights of New Orleans. Portland ran away with me and San Francisco stayed with me.
Alright, that was... I wasn't sure if I should put more than 1 spot on a spot, and then I wasn't sure how to decide, and then I was like, do I want to put 3 on? And the reason I started doing that was because I do want to have some spots that don't have any dots on them so we can still have like regular picture prompts. A couple spots have doubles and 1 has a triple, and you know what? It's gonna be fine. I am probably gonna regret this, but it's gonna be fine. Now we need to spin our punishment wheel for our 1 punishment. Okay, let's see what punishment we get. Add a challenge prompt. I can do that. 1 more challenge prompt. Let's do 2 challenges maybe. That'll be fun. Alright, the board's set up. I was actually fairly intelligent this time, and I actually got a stack of priority TBR books that I'm trying to read soon and stacked them up right next to me so that I don't have to take so long trying to find books, and hopefully like I don't separate my TBR on my shelf, so sometimes when I'm just like looking at the shelf I miss books, and I feel like that's what happened last month, and that's how I had so many DNFs. Alright, let's jump into the first roll. 3. Oh, I don't have a marker. Oh no. Alright, we're going with the deer this month. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, and we're starting with the TBR tree. Pet pick. I actually grabbed 2, but we're gonna go with pet pick since it's the one on top. Okay, so the first roll that we got was a TBR treat, which are just kind of like fun little things, and we got pet pick, which will be really fun. However, I am trying to film this before going to church, and I'm gonna run out of time if I take the time right now to go have my dog pick a book. So I'm gonna save this and I'm gonna do this at the end, which I normally wouldn't do. I normally like to pick books as I go, and it might be cheating a little bit, but like it's in the name of finishing this video before I have to leave. So I'm gonna insert the pet pick here. Juniper, come here, baby. That's the one. That's the one. Are you gonna eat the rest? Juniper made her choice, so we're going with The Whispering Dark. This is by Kelly Andrew, and it's a young adult, like, horror type of thing. This book follows Delaney, and she is deaf, and she gets the opportunity to study at a school that, like, teaches students how to, like, go between parallel worlds, I guess. So that's kind of cool. But we also have Colton, who died when he was 9, but then came back, woke up. It's 12 years later. Oh, he woke up like in front of her, and now it's 12 years later and they meet again, I guess. And he's told to stay away from her. She's hearing voices. So yeah, I'm getting like enemies to lovers vibes, which when I first read the description, I thought he was a 9-year-old boy, like still, but he's not. So thank goodness for that, because I'm definitely getting enemies to lovers vibes here. So I am curious. Very curious, actually, and I've been wanting to read this for a while. And now let's jump into the second roll. Can you all see that? Yep, that is a 2. 1, 2. Our first hard prompt of the game. We only have 3, and of course we had 1. I don't know why I expected anything different. Intimidating. Awesome. For our next roll, we got a hard prompt, and it was intimidating, because of course it was. Let's start off on a great, terrifying foot, first of all. Second of all, intimidating to me does not always make sense to other people. I cannot explain why this book intimidates me. It's not that long. It's not that difficult. I don't know why it intimidates me, but it has been sitting on my shelf for years, since before we moved out of South Carolina, because I'm scared to read it, and I don't know why. I don't even really know what it's about, so I don't know why. But that is The Awakening by Nora Roberts. I know this is an adult fantasy romance. That's all I know. Okay, so I briefly read the synopsis. Basically, we're following a middle school teacher, and she's having like these like dreams and stuff of like dragons, but she's like, nah, they're just dreams. They're very much not just dreams. There's like a whole other world. Something about a sword. I don't know. I'm intrigued. I've heard good things about it. Somebody I know read it, told me I would like it. Again, it seems right up my alley. I cannot tell you why it intimidates me, but it does, so we're gonna pick it for the intimidating pick. All right. 0. Okay, so before I pick another hard prompt, for those of you who don't know, I am well aware that this is a D9 die, and the 0 is, or a D10, and this is a 10 and not a 0. Like, I know that, I understand that, but I like to use it as a 0 because I think it's more fun. All right, another hard prompt. Let's see. A number in the title. All right, we're not moving very far, but we got number in the title, which was a little bit difficult. I didn't have a lot to choose from, so we're gonna go with One of Us is Lying, which is a reread, but I really want to read the third book that just came out last year, One of Us is Back, and I remember almost nothing from the first two because I read the first one in like 2019. I'm gonna need a refresher there, so we're gonna read One of Us is Lying. Basically, we're following kind of like a Breakfast Club situation, kids in detention, but one of them turns up dead, and it spirals from there. If you like young adult thrillers, this is like top tier young adult thriller. It's also very popular, and Karen McManus is one of my favorite authors of all time. I am probably going to read the whole series this month, but I'm not going to put all 3 books on my TBR yet, just in case I can fit the other 2 on later. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh boy. Cool. Well, I did this to myself. I cannot complain here. I legitimately did this to myself. Let's start with the challenge prompt, because that could send us back to the beginning. Oh. Y'all, we have 9 free spots on this board. 9 free spots, and they are all about to become hard prompts. That's cool. So I guess we'll fix that real quick. I'm just gonna mark them out and put a red one. Love that for me. All right, so now we need a hard prompt, and we also need a picture prompt since the blue spot didn't give us a book. Okay, let's start with the hard prompt. Let's make it that way. I don't know why. Let's just start with the hard prompt. Cool. Awesome. 600 plus pages. Let's hope that the picture prompt is a little bit nicer to me. Has a map. So here's the thing. Normally, I do not let myself choose one book for multiple prompts, even if they're on the same spot, because I like to have a lot of books on my TBR so that I have a lot to choose from. However, the book in my head fits both of these prompts. So I think I might change my rule a little bit. If I want to, and I don't have to, if I want to combine a book for both prompts when they're on the same spot, I'm gonna let myself do it. So the book I'm gonna choose for this, I don't know yet. I'm gonna choose House of Flame and Shadow. Because I know it's gonna have a map, and I know it's gonna be over 600 pages. And this is the 3rd book in the Crescent City series by Sarah J. Maas, which I have been waiting for so long, and I am so scared to read this book. This should have been my intimidating pick, honestly. I am so scared of this book, but so excited. And it comes out on the 31st, so I'll just try really hard not to finish it in one day. I probably won't, because I have to work that day. Okay, let's keep going. Well, we're not going very far. And we're also doing pretty much the exact same thing, so that's cool. New challenge prompt. Why? Okay, so now we need a hard prompt and a picture prompt. Again. Person on the cover. And enemies to lovers. Okay, so probably none of us are surprised. I end up back at the beginning like at least every other game. The next 2 prompts were person on cover and enemies to lovers. And once again, I'm able to combine these, so that's really not that bad. I'm gonna go with The Curse of Saints. And I know that we are following a girl who is a spy master to the queen, and that kind of requires her to work with the queen's enforcer, who is also like her enemy. She does not like him, rival sort of thing. So it's really more like rivals to lovers, not like enemy, but like I feel like enemies to lovers is always a stretch in books. Like it's very rare that they're like legitimate enemies, so I'm gonna count it. I'm excited. Sounds like a fantasy romance. Works for me. I could use a big number now. 9! Oh, okay, thank you all. And it's another TBR treat. I'll take it, because TBR treats are fun. Viewer recommendation. Okay, so those of you who have been here for a while know that I started a thing last year with my little viewer recommendation jar. I don't know what's in this jar anymore because I didn't touch it for 8 months. I don't know if I've read all of these books or any of these books. I don't know if I own any of these books. I don't know if I can get any of these books. So whatever comes out of here could be great or it could be really bad. One of y'all told me that each of these books was good, and I'm trusting y'all's opinion. I hope I can actually get the book. That's my main concern right now. Okay. Let's see that. Jade City. All right, I've actually been saying I wanted to read this for a while. I just need to get it. It's a popular book. I feel like I saw it at my library not that long ago. Like, I feel like we had it in stock a couple weeks ago. when I was working. I'll have to go back and see if it's still there. That's not a bad pick. I am kind of excited about that one. All right, next. 4. Regular picture prompt. I can do that. A new release. All right, our next roll we got new release. I'm pretty sure this is a new release. It just came in my book of the month box, like for January, but it says it was published in 2023, so I'm thinking maybe it was published like really late 2023, so I'm gonna count that. Since it's so early in the year, there's not a whole lot of new releases yet anyway. And that is The Fury by Alex Michaelides. This appears to be like a locked room kind of mystery. I'm getting like Agatha Christie vibes, like and then there were none, because like they're on a Greek island, there's a murder. I don't know, I'm curious. I loved one of this author's books and didn't really like another one, so this is very hit or miss. I don't have any thrillers on my list yet, so we'll see. It could be great. All right, next row. 2. We're getting all the TBR treats this month, and I love it because we didn't have any last month. Actually, I'm gonna stick viewer recommendation back in because that's one that I'm okay with getting more than once. Does that mean I should stick Pet Pick back in too? Yeah, why not? She could pick 2 books. All right. Swap. Okay, cool. All right, so we got a TBR treat and we got the swap little thing, which means that I can swap out a book on my TBR for something else if I choose to, and I'm allowed to save this so I can change it later. So I'm gonna hold on to this because I don't really know that I want to swap anything yet, but you know, maybe that Pet Pick? We're gonna hold on to that one. But since it did not give us a book, we're gonna go ahead and pull a picture prompt. A pretty cover. I like this prompt. Alright, and the prompt we got was pretty cover, so that wasn't that difficult because I do have a lot of fairy loot books that I need to read, and almost all of those have a pretty cover, so I'm gonna go with Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. If you've been here since last year, you know that this was on my TBR like 3 times. And then I disappeared for 9 months and did not read it yet, so it is time. It is well past time, and I'm pretty sure the next book is coming out like really soon, or is already out, or sometime in the near future, I think. So it's about time that I read this, honestly. But I get like cottagecore vibes, like cozy fantasy vibes. I know they were following like academic rivals in like a fantasy world, and I'm cool with that. And she's writing an Encyclopedia of Fairies, so like I'm getting like light academia maybe. All right, here we go. That's a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Picture prompt. A 5-star prediction. Okay, I thought about this one for like an absurdly long amount of time, but the next book that we got was, or the next prompt that we got was a 5-star prediction. And I've been struggling with 5 stars. I've had a lot of 4 stars recently, but 5 stars. I feel like a couple of the ones I've already chosen. Emily Wilde I think could be a 5-star, but I've already picked that one. And I don't want to swap yet, because that's not really what that does. I think what I'm going to do, because I did just find out this morning that this book that I want from the library is ready. I just have to go pick it up tomorrow. So I don't have it. But I think I'm going to go with the next Mistborn book. It's like Mistborn Era 2. I don't remember which one that is. I don't remember which one the 4th one is. I know I have it on hold, and I can't look it up on my phone because my phone is filming the board. So the next Mistborn book, because I gave all of those 5 stars, so I feel like that could continue. It might not, but I'm hoping it does. We'll see. We'll see. But I feel like that could be a 5-star, so that's what I'm going to go with for my 5-star prediction. All right. 2. Look, another TBR treat. I'm so happy today. These have been so much fun. Skip. I'm almost kind of sad about that one. Alright, this one is a skip, which means we don't pick a book for that one. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. So many booktubers in their game, they have some sort of like skip or don't need to pick a book. I want to pick a book for everyone. It's fine. It's fine. We're gonna just keep going. Okay, let's go. Okay, well, I'll take that because I can just pretend that the skip didn't happen, except there's only 2 left in here, which means it has to either be Pet Pick or viewer recommendation. viewer recommendation. Let's do another one. All right, we've got another viewer recommendation. And again, I don't know what's in here. It's been 9 months since I have looked at this jar. When I remade all of the stuff for this game, I did not touch this jar. So all of these were given to me in like March or April of last year. I don't know what's in here. I could have read some of them. I might not want to read some of them. I don't know. They're all stuck together. Cool. Can y'all see that? Stillhouse Lake. Okay, I don't actually know anything about this. Like at all. I kind of feel like it's a thriller, which is good because I could use another thriller on my list. I don't have too many of those, but I don't know anything about it and I can't look it up right now. So I think I'm going to insert a clip here after I am able to look something up and add it later so that y'all know what the book is about because I have no idea. All right, so I looked up Stillhouse Lake and it actually does sound right up my alley. So this is a thriller. I was correct. And it's by Rachel Kane. And basically, we're following Gina, and she had, like, a great life. Everything was, you know, decent, like, average, until a car accident reveals that her husband is a serial killer. So, obviously, that doesn't last. He's in prison. She is trying to start over. Former wife of a serial killer. Not an easy life. And she finally thinks she's kind of made it to a point where she can start over when a body turns up in the lake by her house, and everything kind of starts back up again. I am intrigued. It is kind of similar to another book I read that had like really, I don't remember what it was called, but it reminds me of that a lot and I really liked that book. So this one has high hopes. And we continue onward. Oh dear. Well, that's a fun spot. Should I put the skip and the swap back? I don't know why I didn't put the swap back, mostly because I was saving it for later. You know what? I just realized that I used my skip prompt wrong. Okay, so fun fact, it has been a very, very, very long time since I have played this game outside of last month, and even longer since I've done the TBR treats. And I changed TBR treats like right before I left, so I kind of forgot the rules I had for them. And I just realized that, and I was wondering, because I know myself, I don't like to skip prompts. Like, I want a book for each role. So I was wondering why I would put a skip in there as a treat, because that's not a treat to me. And now I realized what it means. It means that I can skip a prompt if I don't like it. So now I'm kind of thinking, the spot we're on right now is another TBR treat, and it's also 2 hard prompts. So I think I'm going to kind of like rewind a little bit, like pause where we're at, and I'm going to pick a picture prompt for that role that got skipped because I should have and didn't, and then we'll come back to this role. So, pause. Alright, we should have picked a picture prompt for that one, and we didn't, and it's fine. A green or a yellow cover, that's kind of specific. Okay, so for the role that I should have picked a prompt for and didn't, we got green or yellow cover. I'm gonna go with What the River Knows, which, like, I know the cover is not technically green, but there's a lot of green in it and yellow, so I'm gonna count it because I don't have a solid green cover at all. Like, I just don't have one, so this is as close as we're gonna get. This book follows, I just read her name, Inez, and she lives in Buenos Aires, and her parents are, like, world travelers, and she's always being left behind, but then they tragically die, and she ends up in Cairo with her guardian, and there's magic, and it goes from there. I mean, it describes itself as The Mummy meets Death on the Nile, and I really like both of those things, and it feels like this would be right up my alley, and I have heard really good things about it. Like, I've had multiple people tell me I would like this. I think this is a good pick, and now we have to deal with the spot we're on now. So we're going to start with the TBR treat. And I might as well just do it on this camera, honestly. Okay, I don't want to look at them because they're not, like, folded super well. Is this our 3rd viewer rec? Yes, it is. Y'all are getting to choose all of the books I read this month. Look closer. This feels like another thriller, but once again, no idea what it's about. No clue. Can't picture it. I don't know if I've ever heard of it. No idea. Insert clip of me talking about it once I learn about it. Okay, Look Closer is a thriller. I was right. This one is by David Ellis, and we're following a couple, and they're like, seem like the perfect couple. Typical start to a lot of thrillers. They definitely have some secrets. One of them might be a killer. So like I feel like this has been done like a million times. Could still be good. Doesn't, just because it's been done multiple times doesn't mean it's not a good book. I will reread the same type of book repeatedly. That's why I read so many books about fae. I have no problem with rereading the same type of book 100,000 times. Alright, now we need 2 hard prompts. So just think, one of those would have been a free pick. Oh, these are like all sorts of stuck together. Hold on. Let me fix that. Oh dear. Finish a series. Okay. Cool. Finish a series. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and draw my other hard prompt because that might dictate what I pick here. I can't read it. Adult fantasy. Actually, I shouldn't do that. Just kidding. No, that's a bad idea. Okay, so I'm not really sure that this is any better of an idea, but we're gonna roll with it and it's gonna be fine. So for adult fantasy, my intention with that prompt is adult fantasy that's not romantasy, so like not Sarah J. Maas and stuff, because as much as I love that stuff, I am trying to read more adult fantasy just in general. So I'm gonna go with Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. It's not that long, but adult fantasy tends to be a little bit slower of a read for me, but I do want to read this. I don't know much about it other than we have an apprentice assassin, and it's very popular in the adult fantasy world, so we're gonna give that one a shot. And then for finish a series, so like here's the thing. My original thought was I could combine them and do the next 2 books in the Nora Roberts series that I put on. Like I put the first book on already, I put The Awakening, so I was like, well, I could just put the next 2 because the second one can be an adult fantasy and then the third one can be finish the series. But what if I hate the first one? Like that's why it's intimidating to me, because I'm afraid I'm gonna hate it, and I don't know if I will or not, but like what if I do and then I don't read the other 2 and then I have to take 2 punishments next month? I don't want to do that, so I'm gonna do something that's probably just as bad. I'm gonna put One of Us is Back as my finish a series, which means that I'm going to have to read One of Us is next, even though it's not technically on the TBR as of yet. I'm gonna have to read all 3, but they're so quick. Like I could read probably all 3 of these in one day if I really wanted to. If it was like a Saturday and I did like a 24-hour readathon, I could knock all of these out real quick, and I might. So that's gonna go on the TBR. Maybe I can still find a way to fit the second one on. We'll see, because now it's like technically on the TBR, even though it's not technically on the TBR, but like, you know. But we're so close to the end. Let's keep going. All right, here we go. 1. Well, we're not getting to the end very quickly, are we? And it's a challenge prompt, so that could be really scary. Go back to the last challenge spot. Cool. Well, that means I could hit this spot again, which would not be fun, but at least I don't have to do both of these challenges. I do need a picture prompt though. Less than 300 pages. At least it's a nice prompt. Okay, so we're back at the last challenge spot. Like, we were really close to the end, but we didn't go all the way back to the beginning. Like, we've already done that. So, like, this is not that bad. It's not. I'm not worried. So I needed a book less than 300 pages, which is good because then I don't have to put another very long book on my TBR. So I'm picking one that I'm a little bit scared to read, but I really need to read because it was given to me as a gift by my brother-in-law for Christmas. Not this past Christmas, but the one prior. And I still haven't read it, and he's asked me like multiple times if I've read it yet, and I feel bad. So we're gonna read We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I know lots of things about this book, but the things I know are spoilery, which may ruin it for me because I know these things. It's not my fault. It was a TikTok. I didn't know it was gonna spoil it for me, but I also don't remember like exactly what it is, so it might still be okay. The vibes kind of remind me of, what was that really popular beachy TV show? Outer Banks. Kind of vaguely reminds me of that vibe-wise, but again, I haven't read it, so I could be completely wrong on that, but we're gonna give it a shot. He also got me the prequel one, so I need to read both. Okay, let's try this whole getting to the end thing again. Well, it could be worse. But we do need a hard prompt, and we only have 2 of them left. I don't usually put these back, so if we run out, then I will have to put them back, but it's fine. Title starts with a randomized letter. Cool. I have a die for that because I didn't want to use my iPad, so I found this. So let's see what letter we get. Oh. Oh. Oh! Okay, so we got a randomized, title starts with a randomized letter, and the letter we got was O, which is perfect, because then I can put One of Us is Next on. Oh! Awesome. Cool. Okay, so One of Us is Next is going to go on, which it kind of already was, but now it's like official. So that's helpful, because that stack's getting a little bit large, and I still have 3 books that were viewer recs, so there's still 3 on top of that. Plus I still need to do a pet pick, so now it's kind of looking a little bit scary. Alright, we're almost there. We can do it. 6. Huh, we're at the end. Alright, so here's our end spot wheel. This green spot is supposed to be TBR treats. I've never written it in. I probably will never write it in, but we know what it is, so it's fine. Challenge prompt. Cool. That shouldn't hopefully be too bad. At least we didn't get start over, because I don't really want to start over. This game's been going on for so long. Choose 2 books for the same prompt. Alright, so now we need a prompt. Favorite author. Okay, we made it to the end, and the spinner wheel thing gave us a challenge prompt, which was choose 2 books for the same prompt. So, the prompt I got was favorite author, and I've got one for this. I can't think of a second one, though. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the one, which is Happy Place by Emily Henry, because she is one of my favorite authors. And I'm really excited to read this book. I am getting it from the library. It's part of my little hold thing, so I do need to read it this month. I think I'm going to use my skip for the other book. I don't know if that's really how I intended it to be used. Like, I think technically I intended it to skip, like, the whole prompt, but I'm just going to use it like a half a skip. And I'm just going to skip the second book in this prompt because I just don't have another one. I don't have another book by a favorite author that is on my radar right now. That is out. Okay, so now that I am looking at this whole stack, I have a swap treat that I have not used yet. So I want to make sure that I actually want to read all of these books and that there isn't anything that I think I might want to swap. And the swap, like, the point of it is that I can literally swap it with whatever I want. It basically becomes a free pick. And the size of this stack has me thinking I might want to, because I may have bitten off a little bit more than I can chew. Just a little bit. The problem is, none of these books are very long. So, like, my first thought was, oh, I'll just take, like, a really long book off my list and replace it with something shorter. However, the only, like, truly long book on this stack is House of Flame and Shadow, and I will be reading that if it kills me, so I'm not swapping that one. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I actually know what I'm gonna do, and it's gonna be for the betterment of everything. I am gonna swap The Curse of Saints with Icebreaker, and I'm gonna do this because knowing that I am reading all the Crescent City books and I've been reading so much Sarah J Maas, I'm afraid to read another fantasy romance, like true fantasy romance, right after Crescent City, because that's what I did with Ledge, and that's why I didn't finish Ledge, because I just don't think it's gonna live up, and that makes me think maybe I should have done it with The Awakening. I don't know, I think I'd be more sad if I didn't like this book than if I didn't like The Awakening. So yeah, I'm gonna swap this one, and I'm gonna add Icebreaker, which is just a contemporary romance. We've got like a girl who's like on the USA team for ice skating and a hockey player and enemies to lovers for sure. And I feel like I have a lot of fantasy and a lot of thrillers, and I only have like one real romance, so I feel like this could be a good swap. I think that's gonna be good because I really want to like The Curse of Saints and I don't want to ruin it by reading it right after Crescent City. That's my thought process there. Okay, so let's talk about all of the books that I need to read in February. February is a short month. I kind of forgot that. And my sister's having a baby in February, so I'm going to disappear for like a week. I don't know if I'll get a lot of reading done or no reading at all done during that week. I may have bitten off more than I can chew. But here is the stack of books that I currently have. And there's a few others that I don't currently have. So let's just start from the top. We have Icebreaker, which was my swap. We have the Whispering Dark, which was my pet pick. Juniper chose that one. One of us is next was a randomized letter, and that letter was O. We Were Liars. We Were Liars. What was that? That one was less than 300 pages. That's what that was. One of us is back was Finish a Series. Assassin's Apprentice was adult fantasy. What the River Knows was a green or yellow cover. These are really heavy. Oh wow, we almost just lost the whole stack. Emily Wilde was pretty cover. Was that pretty cover? Oops, that hurt a lot actually. Okay, we had The Fury, which was I don't know what this was, honestly. I don't know what that prompt was, but we also have One of Us is Lying. The Awakening was intimidating, I know that. Somewhere in here was a 5-star prediction book. And then we also have the next Mistborn book. We have Look Closer, we have House of Flame and Shadow, we have Jade City, and we have Stillhouse Lake. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 books on this TBR, and that might be pushing it a little bit, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's gonna be good. None of them are very long, other than House of Flame and Shadow, so like, this could be worse. It really, truly could. It could be worse. And you know what? If we don't finish them all, the world will not end. It will be okay. I'm gonna go now because I have a lot of books to read, which means I have no more time on my hands. So, thanks so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye!